today for our first session, let's welcome Mabel Cristina Quinchia, adjunct professor at the Universidad de Antioquia, and Edgar Picon Jacome, research coordinator at the Universidad de Antioquia too. So, welcome Mabel, welcome Edgar.
Thank you.
So, the floor is yours.
Okay. So shall I start? Shall I go on? Okay, so welcome to everybody, and thank you very much for attending our presentation. As Olga said, my name is Edgar Picon, and I am a full-time professor at the School of Languages in Universidad de Antioquia. I am today with my colleague, Mabel Quinchia Monroy. She's going to introduce herself.
Okay, so hello everybody. As Edgar said, I'm Mabel Quinchia. I'm also a full-time professor at the University of Antioquia from the Sección Servicios, which is in charge to offer the English program to all the undergraduate programs of this university. Okay, so today, Edgar and I, we're going to share our experience on working with the in-service teachers in order to bridge the theory. Edgar, can you go back, please?
Excuse me? Say that again?
Yeah, could you go back? Okay, so we're gonna share our experience on working with in-service teachers on trying to bridge the theory and practice implementing the high stakes policy at a Colombian public university. Okay, so today we're going to tell you about the last 3 research projects where we have identified the needs of the teachers when implementing the evaluative system, and also how we have faced those difficulties working together with the researchers and the teachers. And well, through this presentation, we're going to tell you the language policy contest and the antecedents, and we are going to tell you also about the theoretical foundations of the program and the evaluative system, and the research projects that we have been carrying out, also with the language assessment strategies, and trying to help the teachers develop the language assessment literacies.
So I hope you can see my presentation. I feel a little weird to be speaking to the screen. Anyways, okay, these are some pictures from Medellin for the ones who don't know the city. The University of Antioquia is located in Medellin, which is the second most important city in Colombia. And I think it's important to also know that the program for which we're going to share today, our Language Assessment Literacies strategies, had a context of changes in language policies in the country and also inside the institution. So first of all, I can mention the promotion of English-Spanish bilingualism in Colombia in connection with economic, political, and cultural globalization. Exactly, I refer to a policy by the Minister of Education beginning in 2005, with efforts to promote the development of communicative competence in English. And inside this policy, in 2013, Colombia became part of the OECD group, which means more, let's say, international pressures for higher education, in this case, to develop competences in their students in foreign languages and also in teachers, to be more competitive. And logically or consequently, inside the university, there was not only this new policy for the undergraduate programs that's going to have a big impact on the different undergraduate programs of the university, also in graduate programs, but we today talk about the one that refers or that has affected undergraduate programs. This picture is a picture of one of the landmarks of the university, the fountain. And the policy I was talking about was established in the Academic Agreement 0467 from December 2004. And in this agreement, the Programa Institucional de Formación en Lengua Extranjera PFLE, that's how we call it in Spanish. And everybody knows now PFLE from that abbreviation. It was set, and it was mandatory for all the undergraduate programs, as I said before, to articulate this 4-level course to the curricula of the different fields of knowledge. So it resulted on a high impact on the academic life of the students because this program has credits. English now has credits. That means the students can be out of the university if they fail a course more than 3 times. And by the time in 2014, from the examinations from the government carried out by the AFES, the situation was about 90% or more than 90% of the students coming from public schools, and we are a public university. We're achieving very low levels of communicative competence in the language. And so the program committed to take those students to reach a B1, which is like by the time what the government was projected for university students. I'm going to present the program. The program is a TVLT, let's say, follows a TVLT approach within an ECAP context, which is English for General Academic Purposes. And therefore, the construct that's going to be taught and therefore assessed corresponds to the communicative competences, because we take the Common European Framework of Reference such as a reference. And also it is important to understand that it's focused on the academic needs of the students. So within this program, we have an assessment as learning culture system, or we want to achieve this goal of creating the conditions for this as a culture. So what we mean by assessment of learning culture is a dynamic approach, which means that we value a lot the factor of coming from a constructive feedback to have from the constructivism approach the possibility to help students in feedback to grow and learn at the same time. So this is integrated to teaching, grounded on a system. So we see this as a system that articulates complementary assessment procedures, which means we try to go beyond the dichotomy between formative and summative assessment, understanding and believing that all the procedures both need to have not only formative goals, but also summative. Like in reality, we have to grade students. So that system is intended to potentiate learning through constructive feedback, as I said before, among students and teachers, which means that we value self-assessment and also peer assessment and student partnership assessment, and is fed on the autonomous exercise of all the involved stakeholders, which means we value also and prize the development and exercise of autonomy among all the stakeholders. So as a culture, and therefore for LAL purposes, this system and the implementation of this system that probably sounds and look very nice on paper imply the development of knowledge, abilities, and attitudes that permit building shared ways of thinking and common habits related to ethics and thus fair assessment practices. And this is a graphic that intends to show how we articulate. There are 4 main procedures. The authentic tasks is one of those. And we have also an EGAP workshop for which students get a grade. We have a traditional final exam. And the intention of having this type of exam is for the students to have the opportunity to face examinations that they actually face in real life. And finally, we have a portfolio that intends to integrate all the other procedures of the system.
Okay, so as you could see during Edgar's presentation, so teachers in this program have to face external and institutional tensions. On the one hand, they have to prepare students for national testing, and on the other hand, they have to respond to the institutional demands that is trying to establish an assessment of a culture of assessment as learning. So that's why the academic committee, which is made up of all the full-time professors of the program, decided to design a course of 5 modules to present or to introduce the new policy and the new English program to the teachers. Yes, in trying to respond to the language assessment literacy definition by Inbar-Lourie. So the assessment module was designed to talk about the knowledge, skills, and principles that stakeholders involved in assessment activities are required to master in order to perform the assessment tasks in this program. And well, so this was the first attempt to bridge theory and practice in order to help the teachers develop their language assessment literacies. So this was the first, the module, which was through the platform Moodle. It was with a rigid structure, 50 hours. And it had 4 sessions, between 3 and 4 theoretical readings per session. And also the teachers had to participate in different variants according to the reading sessions. Also, they have to create a portfolio where they have to upload all their evidence of their process, and the main goal of this module was to internalize the theoretical concepts and the learning by doing. Yes, so this module had teachers had to evaluate the module, and here when we analyzed their evaluations, we found that they needed to work on some strategies to bridge the theory and practice. They were specifically asking for information related to the portfolio. They said that they needed more guidance in practical matters. They would like to listen to different experiences of the teachers of the program implementing this portfolio. They would like to listen to their examples, to the benefits, how they use the rubrics. They would like also to listen to, maybe a talk or a video or an interview where the teachers talk about the advantages and difficulties of implementing this evaluative system. They also would like to work on the construction of the questions to identify the main, secondary, and inference ideas. Yeah, so these were some of the issues where the teachers felt they needed to continue working on their language assessment literacies. They also felt that this module was a starting point to discuss about all these issues, yes, and they wanted to have more spaces for their professional development. So here we began a research project that was to evaluate the assessment system in order to see what were the achievements and the challenges of it. When we analyze all the findings related to the teachers' needs or challenges in language assessment literacies, we found that they needed to participate in the curricular changes. They also wanted to have more spaces for professional development. They also said that they need guidelines for the use of instruments in formative assessment. And although we have guidelines for to use the portfolio, maybe they want to adjust those guidelines, yes, after they have implemented the evaluative system. They also said that they need to consolidate didactics for the implementation of the portfolio that integrates the use of ICTs, and also to integrate the other procedures, the final exam, and also the gap workshop to the portfolio. Yes, they needed also to work on the appropriation of the autonomy construct. So these were all the issues that we found the teachers needed to work on. So when we finished this project, we realized that it was not enough to work in the knowledge, skills, and principles, but that there was something else that we needed. And there is in trying to respond to the Scarino definition. We created, or we started a new project to work on their needs related to the knowledge, to their professional practice in their particular context. So we began a new project. Next, okay, thank you. So we began this project in the 2020 that was a systematization of formative assessment experience mediated by ICTs in order to try to solve some of the issues found in the former project. But here we were going to we focused specifically in the issues related to the portfolio, specifically to the washback and the viability of it. Yes, so in this project, we have 3 products, and these products are the infographic with the theoretical concepts that underpin the PIFLE evaluative system. The second product was a video on the formative use of the portfolio rubric, specifically to work with the self and peer evaluation, and a list of ICT tools for classroom assessment. So here you can see some of the images of the product. This one is the image of the infographic, and this one is an image of the video to use the portfolio rubric. So after this, so we have started a new project. In this moment, we are carrying out this project that is participatory action research. And here we're going to try to solve all the issues. So we're going to introduce these products of the ones that I have already told you. And we're going to continue working with all the teachers. We have already, in this moment, we have invited the teachers. We are in the registration process for the community of practice on assessment. This is the strategy that we are using to let the teachers participate in the curricular changes, to have a space for professional development, and also to create the guidelines to use the different instruments of the evaluative system, the rubrics, yes, and the portfolio. And finally, we would like to agree on a shared repertoire just for the program.
Sorry, okay. So we have been sharing with you a key aspect that we have learned from the conduction of research and the evaluation of the previous module on assessment is experience, the sharing of experience. So there is a new model now that was designed, and just a couple of weeks ago, I taught 2 of the groups for this new module. The module now is shorter, it has 30 hours, and it was uploaded to the Classroom platform that makes it more flexible. So teachers can, or the instructor can work more flexibly and make changes along the way if needed. Still 4 sessions because they correspond to every one of the strategies, the assessment strategies we have in the system or procedures, and it's less theory and more practice in general terms. And we have a variety of material to complement the discussion, the theoretical discussion, and this material comes for example, from videos recorded by some of the professors, some of the teachers, the faculty in the program, in which they share their own experiences, and they say, for example, to how they organize portfolios, how they conduct feedback, and the evaluation of the module this time is basically more simple. It includes a reflection paper at the end and the participation of the teacher participants in some of the forums. So as we collected some reflection from the teachers, these are some of the findings from this new module that they evaluated through those reflections. So they understood better. We could learn from this that they understood better the connection between theory and practice, and they value the sharing of experiences and reflection, share critical opinion related to assessment. They valued a lot having insight into the challenges of the system and how some colleagues are facing them. And they could individually deepen into some concepts of their particular interest as well, since they had like a little bit more time to do readings by themselves. And in general terms, they showed a more positive attitude towards formative assessment. These are some of the voices. Maurice, you can help me reading.
Okay, I'm going to try because it's very little. So, the possibility of sharing the good practices of some teachers in relation to the management of a student's portfolios favors the positive perception that the strategy has in the learning process.
Thank you. Yes, maybe I'll read the first one, which I think is, in general terms, it shows their common perception. So it's a really significant aspect of the course was having shared experiences of how teachers take on the role as graders in the teaching learning process. Since, as it was discussed in class, the process, especially for formative assessment, demands much time. It was very interesting to know that they turned to technological tools that permit to make it more dynamic in nature. Okay, so it's now that we are finishing our presentation. It's important now that to share with you that we are thinking and we are connecting aspects of narrative inquiry into the IAP project. So specifically, we want to explore the experience as a path for formation and transformation. This coming from a position from certain authors that work in narrative inquiry and specifically on the exploration of experience through narratives. And I'm talking about Contreras 2016. He says, and we believe that the labor of educating can be understood as the result of experience as we reflect on it and express it as a story. And we understand experience as an external event that traverses and transforms the subject that lives it, coming from La Rosa 2009. And what we want to do is to look for the way or to understand how it can be possible through this short story that we wanted to ask the participants who want to do it about their practical knowledge and experiences to see how can we generate practical and pedagogical knowledge. And data that we are planning to collect from the participants is within this community of practice that Mabel was presenting before. It includes biographical journal entries, letters, and anecdotes. So some conclusions from our presentation is that LAL implies not only the development of particular knowledge in regards to the different theoretical constructs and assessment approaches that underpin a given assessment proposal, but also the possibility for teachers to relate such knowledge to their professional practice in a given context. Now that we have attended the plenaries this morning, I think we are in the same path. The understanding of local to be very important in anything that we do, in this case, in language assessment literacy strategies. So the second LAL strategy should provide practical experience to teachers, one for them to better understand the challenges that the implementation of a new assessment paradigm implies, and two, for them to learn from their colleagues practical strategies to increase their possibilities for successful presentation. Positive attitudes towards alternative forms of assessment are reinforced by the sharing of experience among the members of a teaching community, and action research and other forms of teacher inquiry continue to offer valuable insight into the achievement and challenges of professional development strategies, generally speaking, and powerful tools for LAL. It is our main topic today in particular. Just to wrap up, experience can be a powerful path. We believe that for formation and transformation. And if it is systematically shared through written and oral forms and explored through narrative inquiry for practical knowledge to develop. Thank you very much. Here are our email accounts in case you want to contact us, and we open the floor for your questions.
Okay. So thank you very much, Edgar and Mabel. Wonderful presentation. We have a question from Aisha Mira Sainal, and she would like to know if are the LAL needs based on the curriculum, or were there a needs analysis done at the beginning stage of the study?
Well, I don't know to what extent it's clear that things happens like at the same time, not really in like in a linear basis, you know. So to answer the question, I believe it is both based on the curriculum, but since we are conducting research, like let's say probably at the same time, we also have insight from the teacher's needs. Actually, the first project that we mentioned was a case study, an exploratory case study, in which we collected data both from interviews with teachers, focal interviews, and also a judgment of experts. There were like two big sets of data, and based on that, we have the findings that constitute the main problem of this second big research project that we are starting right now, which is the participatory action research project. In terms of this is the problem for that, the second one. I don't know if I am answering your question. Yes,
Okay.
to some extent, yes.
So she also wanted to mention that it was a very impressive project. And here we have another question from Ana Mara Hurtado, and I'm going to read it. So why did you implement this project? Was there any, two questions, and was there any resistance to change of assessment system in the past? And we have 2 minutes for this question.
Mabel, did you want to answer?
Yeah, we found some resistance, of course, because it is a very complex evaluative system. You see that it has different, it integrates different concepts of evaluation. So the teachers were expressing some difficulties with it when implementing it, especially as Edgar has mentioned it. They had a lot of difficulties with time giving the feedback. Yes, so here is where we identify those problems. Yes.
Okay, and then I think we have 1 minute for our last question. And Elsa Restrepo asks, by doing all this work, what has been your biggest achievement and what your most challenging or difficult step?
Our biggest achievement, I believe, the more I keep in contact with the teachers, and I'm saying this because I have just finished teaching the second group for the second module. I felt with my communication with them that there was very positive attitude towards those changes, because I think that's the biggest challenge. You know, this is a change of paradigm, and it needs time for people to actually believe in that. So probably I believe the achievement goes in terms of understanding that the teachers need to share practices, and also that we can see that sharing those practices actually work in helping teachers to better understand the system and to be more successful. I don't know if by the way, hello, Elsa, thank you so much about the question.
Yes, and I think that this is a question in the same direction. Maybe is there anything to add, like how has the attitudes, how have the attitudes of teachers changed after participating in this project? Oh, we have a compliment.
Yeah.
Yes, and actually, then are you publishing results?
You want to answer the question, Mabel?
Okay, well, what we have seen is that as teachers understand better the evaluative system, so they get more engaged. Yes, so they feel better in their classroom. They feel better engaging also their students in all these culture of assessment as learning. Yes, because at the beginning it was just, it's like controlling, yes, the assessment to control, or the evaluation to control. But in this moment, everybody's trying, or not everybody, but what we have seen is as they understand better the evaluative system, they also engage more their students to participate in it.
Maybe just to complement a little bit, there were some reactions, natural reactions, because of the practicality of the system was a big issue. Formative assessment is not practical. But now that people can share their experiences, they feel they can do it. In general terms, many people have, from the very beginning, had a positive attitude towards the change. But not everybody, and now more people are changing their attitude. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mabel and Edgar, for this wonderful presentation. And it's time to finish this session.